Hi, I am so excited right now. I'm reading one of my favorite books, Big Magic. I've read this. This is the third time I'm reading this book, and it's really good. It's about creative living. It's geared towards people that want to write a book. And I started reading it because I want to write a book, but my problem is I keep reading books, and I know you take on, as a writer, you take on the style of the author that you're currently reading. And I have so many favorite books that I want to imitate the style of that I don't think I'm ever going to get to actually writing the book because there's so many books I want to read as I'm writing. So right now I want to read David Sedaris and copy his form of writing. One, because I think it's easy. Two, I think it's not intimidating, and I think it's a lot of fun. So I've started writing and I already have 20 pages. I'm really excited about it, but I'm almost done with Big Magic. Again, for the third time. It's by Elizabeth Gilbert. She's the author of Eat, Pray, Love. So I want to read that book too. I think Eat, Pray, Love takes place in Brazil, so I want to read that. So Elizabeth Gilbert talks about my absolute favorite book, Daring Greatly, and I'm so bad. I take off the paper cover of books when I read them. So I've read Daring Greatly 3 or 4 times. It's such a good book. But she talks about Daring Greatly in Big Magic, and it just makes me so excited that two of my favorite books kind of cross over and talk about each other. It's so exciting. So I just finished. Before I did Big Magic, I did All the Light We Cannot See, and it's such a good book. I want to talk about that for a second because in All the Light We Cannot See, there's a stone, and there's a rumor that there's a curse about this stone, and the people that touch or have possession of the stone, they live forever, but the people around the person suffer, die, trauma, whatever. So in the end, this is going to be a spoiler alert. So if you haven't read the book, you need to read the book. It's a Pulitzer Prize winner. Anthony Doerr, I believe, is his name, and it's just such a good book. The story goes back and forth between. All right, this is where the spoilers come, so turn it off if you haven't read it yet. But the story goes back and forth between. Oh gosh, I can't remember her name. I want to say Claire Mar something, the girl, the French girl, and the German guy, Werner. It's spelled Werner, but in the audiobook he pronounces it Werner. So the story goes back and forth between these. The girl has the stone and gives it to the guy, Werner, and in the end, Werner kind of gets rid of the stone. But what I love about the book is it goes 40 years into the future or 30 years into the future. Werner's dead, and his sister, Yada, again, it's pronounced Yada, it's spelled Jada, but in the audiobook, it's Yada. He gives Werner's backpack or suitcase or whatever it is, his duffel bag, gets back to Yada, and and it's just like the stone. This is symbolism. This is what I love about the book. So the stone, the person lives forever, but the people around her suffer. So this backpack goes. I think it's the backpack is symbolic of the stone. The backpack goes to his sister Yada, and she suffers. She says that she wishes she never got the backpack. She wishes that it was gone away. So the person around Werner is suffering, but Werner continues to live on through the memories that this backpack brings back. And then it goes back to Claire Marie, I believe her name is. I can't remember this French girl's name. I kind of read the book way too fast. So it goes back to her, and again, she kind of suffers by these memories, and she doesn't know if it's what Werner's role was. Valkheimer, someone in Werner's infantry, believed that Werner fell in love with this girl. She doesn't know if she fell in love with Werner. We don't know if it was really a love story or not, but that's how it's perceived to be to Yada. and there's all this suffering going on by all these memories being brought up 30 years later, but Werner continues to live on through these memories. And I think it was just so well done. It's just such a good book. I absolutely love it. It's All the Light We Cannot See. I want to read it again. There's Frederick. Okay. Another thing I like that the author does is he kind of spells it out for readers that aren't that in tune to the symbolism and everything like that. For example, Frederick is a dreamer, and we see he's a German boy. We see what the war does to the dreamer, and the author kind of spells that out for us. We don't have to read into the symbolism. He says it outright for us, and I kind of like that. I appreciate that because I think, especially with younger readers, this is the teacher in me. We kind of need that spelled out for us because we need practice, and books like these help us practice so that when we read the classics in the canon, we have that practice already and we can identify the symbolism and things on our own. It's just so exciting. So, all right, so we had two different books. These books would fall under self-help. I've talked about Daring Greatly before on Facebook. It's my favorite book. I've read it so many times. And this is, well, I won't even go into that. And Living or Big Magic is about finding your creativity, and it's inspired me. I've always wanted to write a book, but this is kind of what got me over the edge to write it. And my book is a hot mess, but it's like my hot mess, and that's what's so exciting about it. All right, so a lot going on there. You have a lot of homework now. You have Daring Greatly. You got to read that one first if you haven't. Then Big Magic if you want to do a creative project but you haven't actually sat down to do it, and then All the Light We Cannot See, which is just an enjoyable book. It's in the same vein as Book Thief. I haven't read them; they're on my list, but I also see All the Light We Cannot See paired with The Nightingale, and I want to say The Golden Finch. I'm not sure if The Golden Finch is World War II or not. All right, so those are some books to check out. I'll check in with you next week. Have a good day.